The harsh truth no one tells men. You think if you put her first, she'll never leave. You think if you give her your everything, she'll love you forever. But here's the brutal truth. The moment you put her above yourself, she starts to look down on you. And once respect dies, love follows it like a shadow. Men don't like hearing this. It feels wrong. Because we're taught that love means sacrifice, that love means giving her your all, that love means putting her first. But in the world of female psychology, that's the quickest way to lose her respect. And once you lose respect, you lose the woman. So today, I'm going to break it down for you. Why putting her first always backfires, why worshiping her kills attraction, and how you can flip the script before it's too late. Stay with me until the end, because this might be the most important lesson you'll ever hear about women and respect. Chapter 1. Why putting her first backfires. Let's start with a story. I've seen this happen again and again. A man meets a woman he really likes. At the start, he's confident. He has his own life, his hobbies, his friends, his mission. She's attracted to him for that exact reason. He's a man with something bigger than her, something he lives for. But then slowly, it changes. Instead of going to the gym, he cancels for her. Instead of hanging out with his boys, he makes sure he's always available. He puts her right at the top of his list. He believes this is the right way to love. But what happens? At first, she appreciates it, but over time, she starts to feel something else. Not love, not gratitude, but boredom, sometimes even irritation. Why? Because when you put her first, you lose the very thing she respected in you. Women are drawn to men who carry themselves with dignity. They're drawn to men who know who they are. They're drawn to men who stand firm in their purpose. But when you throw all that away just to please her, she sees you as a man who abandoned himself. And no woman can deeply respect a man who abandons himself. Respect and attraction go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. When you overgive, when you sacrifice too much, you create an imbalance. She doesn't feel safe with you anymore because she knows you'll bend at any moment. She knows your choices don't come from strength, but from fear. And fear never wins respect. That's why so many men say, "But I gave her everything. Why did she leave me?" The answer is simple. You gave her everything except the one thing she actually wanted, your backbone. Chapter 2. The Trap of Worship. Let me tell you what worship looks like in a relationship. You start treating her like she's perfect. You excuse every wrong thing she does. You never question her. You smile and nod even when you're uncomfortable. You believe she can do no wrong. At first, she appreciates it, but soon something shifts. Because deep down, no woman wants a man who bows to her like she's a goddess. She doesn't want to lead. She doesn't want to carry all the weight. When you worship her, you lower yourself. And once you place yourself beneath her, she stops seeing you as her equal. That's when she starts losing respect. Here's the thing men don't get. Women test men. She'll raise her voice, push your limits, make demands. Not because she wants to destroy you, but because she's checking if you'll stand up. And when you don't, when you just worship quietly, she feels disappointment. A woman doesn't want a servant. She wants a man, someone who will look her in the eye and say, "I love you, but I won't lose myself for you." That's strength. That's what earns respect. Worship is beautiful when it's towards God, but when it's towards a woman, it's dangerous because you end up giving her something she never asked for, control. And once she has control, desire dies, respect fades, and love turns into a memory. Chapter 3. She was attracted to your balance, not your sacrifice. Think back to when she first noticed you. You weren't chasing her every second. You had balance. Maybe you were focused on your work. Maybe you were hitting the gym. Maybe you were with your friends, living a full life. That balance made you attractive. She looked at you and thought, "Here's a man who knows who he is." But then something happened. You decided she was the one. And slowly, you began shifting everything around her. You skipped your morning runs. You let your work slide. You stopped showing up for yourself. And instead of her feeling loved, she started to feel pressure. She could sense the imbalance. Because now, instead of being a man who had a full life, you became a man whose life was her. And here's the hard truth. Women don't fall for sacrifice. They fall for strength. They fall for balance. When you give up too much, she doesn't think, wow, he loves me so much. She thinks, if he gives up this easily for me, does he even respect himself? And when she starts questioning your self-respect, she can't respect you either. Women want to feel like they're a part of your world, not your entire world. If you make her your whole life, she feels trapped, not treasured. Love is not about losing yourself. It's about sharing who you are without abandoning yourself. Chapter 4. Respect is born from boundaries. Here's something most men miss. Respect doesn't come from gifts, flowers, or endless sweet words. It comes from boundaries. Boundaries aren't about being harsh or controlling. They're about showing her who you are and what you stand for. Think of it like this. If you're a man with no boundaries, she can call you at 3 a.m. and you'll pick up. She can cancel plans last minute and you'll say, it's okay. She can disrespect you in public and you'll laugh it off. You think you're being kind, but what you're really showing her is that your self-respect is cheap. On the other hand, a man with boundaries is different. If she calls late, he says, I'll speak to you tomorrow. If she cancels without reason, he doesn't rearrange his entire life. If she disrespects him, he calmly but firmly makes it clear it won't happen again. That's when she pauses. That's when she feels something real, because now she knows she's dealing with a man who values himself. Boundaries create polarity. They make her feel safe. Not because you're controlling, but because you're unshakable. Respect isn't born from weakness. It's born from the silent strength of a man who knows his worth. Chapter 5. The mother role problem. Here's another trap men fall into. When you put her first all the time, you don't look like her lover anymore. You start looking like her child. And no woman desires her child. Think about it. If you're always asking, what do you want to do? What do you feel about this? Are you okay with that? You're pushing her into leading. Slowly, she steps into a role she never wanted, your mother. And once she's in that role, attraction dies. She can't admire you because she's too busy guiding you. She can't feel feminine because she's stuck being masculine. This is why so many women say, I just don't feel it anymore. They don't mean they stopped loving you. They mean you stopped being the man they could look up to. A healthy relationship isn't about one person leading all the time. It's about balance, but that balance requires you to hold your ground. No woman wants to guide you like a child. She wants to stand beside a man. Chapter 6. The fear of losing her. Let's be real. Why do men put women first? It's rarely just love. Most of the time, it's fear. Fear of losing her. Fear that if you say no, she'll leave. Fear that if you stand your ground, she'll find someone else. But here's the paradox. The very fear that makes you put her first is the same fear that makes her lose interest. Because a woman can sense when a man is moving out of fear instead of strength. When you're scared of her leaving, you stop being authentic. You stop being bold. You stop being you. Instead, you become cautious, hesitant, always trying to please. And nothing kills attraction faster than fear-driven behavior. See, women respect men who can walk away, not because they want you to leave, but because walking away shows you're not trapped. It shows you have options. It shows you're not afraid of being alone. Ironically, the man who is willing to lose her often keeps her. And the man who is terrified of losing her almost always does, because respect cannot survive where fear controls you. Chapter 7. What women actually respect. Here's the truth most men avoid. Women don't respect men who put them first. They respect men who put their purpose first. She wants to feel like she's standing beside a man who has direction, a man who values his mission, his growth, his standards. Respect is not earned by begging, it's commanded by how you live. When she sees you guard your time, when she sees you don't tolerate disrespect, when she sees you stay consistent with your vision, she can't help but admire it. Even if she gets mad in the moment, deep down, she respects it. Because men often confuse love with self-abandonment, but women don't fall for men who abandon themselves. They fall for men who protect their identity. The less you put her on a pedestal, the more she respects you. Chapter 8. How to Shift the Dynamic. Now, maybe you're listening to this and realizing you've been putting her first too long. She doesn't look at you the way she used to. But here's the good news. You can shift the dynamic. It starts with reclaiming yourself. Stop apologizing for having needs. Stop canceling